I was like, holy crap, this game is such a fight. Like, you got to fight for everything that you want. Sometimes people forget about the fight when they start flowing. But you need to be able to fight, and you need to be able to flow, and you need to figure out when to do what when you're doing it. All you great business owners who went out there and ventured out to start a company, respect. But I'll tell you, you start your company and you start realizing how little you didn't know as you went through the process, and you work those muscles again and again and again, and you get to the heights that you were looking to get to. So I want to help people basically excel that process on their journey.
Gotcha, gotcha. No, that's awesome. Like this, and like anybody that's in this industry, I feel like it's a fight. Every
Oh
day
yeah.
there's a fight. I don't care if it's with, even if we come into the day prepared, there's always going to be some type of challenge that we have to face, and it's almost tiring at times. But you're like, I gotta get through it. So that's where that fight come in. Is like. It's like, damn, okay, we got all the people in place. We accounted for everyone that's supposed to be coming in today. We
Hmm.
did our confirmation checkups. Everything's going to go smooth. We got this. And
Yeah.
then somebody's come in crying in the morning, or the customer is like, "Oh, I expected this," and you're just like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, I ain't got time for this.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets interesting. We literally just had a complaint because one of our trucks broke down, and
Oh man.
we stopped the time. We gave them a discount. We gave them everything we could. Still gave us a bad review. It's
Oh
just,
man.
it's the name of the game sometimes. Like, no one expects certain things to happen that way. Like, we weren't expecting the truck to break down.
No, we
And we
don't.
can't just give you like, oh well, the move's completely on us. Like, it is what it is. People go through their process, and they see it the way they see it, and you have to show them the bigger picture of everything in the best way that you can. And
No,
they're
yeah,
either
and
going
that's
to
the
take it
crazy
or leave it.
part.
Yeah.
I just had a, conversation with my sales team about something that where, like I said, the expectation.
Yeah.
We lay it out, we put it in writing, we say, hey, we can't have a book you until you sign your documents so that there's no discrepancies.
Yeah.
And why is there still discrepancies? You get to the job, customers like, oh, where's the packing supplies?
Yeah.
Wait, you want to go line item by line item? Where did you ask for packing supplies?
Yep. Yep. No, they
You can see the same thing we can see. And
some
it
people
wasn't
will
like
keep
you
it
wasn't booked
super
3 weeks
interesting.
ago.
Some people will keep it super interesting. You know, so back in my fighting days, um, I would smile when the fight got hard. I would smile when it got really, really hard. And what's interesting, they did a study. So you take a pin and you put it in your mouth, and if you're touching the pin with your lips, you instantly feel more frustrated. But if you touch it with your teeth, you're happier. And it's because you're working those happiness muscles versus when you're touching it with your lips, you're working your frowning muscles. And so I work my happiness muscles as much as possible because life's gonna sometimes work for you, and life's just sometimes not gonna work for you at all. Like, and you didn't even do anything wrong.
No, no, you're right. And that's all you could do is just, at the end of the day, like I told my staff, either you could laugh or you could cry. And I'd rather do more laughing than crying if I got to.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
so no, so I know we were gonna go over, some of the things. I know we're in some people, hey guys, I guess ultimately we're in June. And some of us are having an amazing June, and some of us are just, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, it's just whatever situation or side of the boat you're on, only thing you could keep doing is just reverting back to the basics, remembering how you got to where you are, going out, beating the pavement. If you're on the slow side, beating the pavement, getting out to those complexes, getting out to the realtor associations, going to more networking events. Look for the free networking events. If you don't, obviously, the goal is not to be spending money if you don't have it. So look for free networking events in your area. Go to B2B networking events, speed networking events. get your cards out there, make that connection with other B2B business owners because they may be an agency that help assist clients. You never know. So just constantly just get out there, get out there, get out there, and take every lead that someone gives you. Well, hey, you know what? If you go to the county court's office, they can help you with eviction stuff, or they can help you with this type of stuff. And then you get to the court, and the court says, well, hey, you know what? We don't really help out with evictions, but like if you go maybe to this place, they could probably help you out with like estates, or they can help you out with some type of other junk removal service or whatever the case is. So kind of like, follow the trails because obviously everyone is probably going to, with this industry, we're lucky that moving kind of affects everyone in a different way. So, it's just about making that connection, making that trail connect. Other than that, hey, make sure your sales is tight. This is the perfect time to be making sure your sales is definitely tight. Don't look to the biggest thing is don't look to sell someone. Look to build that rapport with them because they're essentially going to buy you. So if you build that rapport with the customer on that sales call, and just hold their hand through the process. Some customers may not be your customer. So at the end of the day, if you just tell a customer, well, hey, I want to move, like I'm in upstate New York. So if a customer says, hey, I want to move from Brooklyn, New York, which is downstate, all the way to upstate, and you're like, well, that don't make any sense because if I have to bring my truck 3 hours out of the way to go downstate to grab you to go back upstate, it won't be cost efficient because I'm coming down with an empty truck. So, let that customer know, hey, this may not be the most beneficial for you. Obviously now that cost is going to be a factor, which can obviously make them frustrated because they're like, well, damn, I didn't really have that much money to begin with. So now your move is all off because hey, you wanted to kind of as a business, like, oh, I need this money. But now the customer's not really happy because the customer didn't expect, well, hey, you guys are coming down with an empty truck. Then you're gonna get here around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you gotta load me up. Then you gotta drive me back, and then you're gonna unload me, and or maybe I gotta pay even overnight at that point. So I was just like, hey, why? It's not worth it. Hey, you know what? Why not have a moving company load you up down there? If you want to drive a U-Haul truck or something up our way, then we can have some guys up our way just unload you. And now it's like a straight cost. And the customer appreciated it, like, oh wow, I didn't even think about that. That makes a lot more sense. And it's just like, hey, yeah, we ultimately, you as a company may have lost money, but you built a great solid customer that may refer you to other people because you help save them money.
Yep.
So what do you think, Cliff?
Like it's really, I say, the deep dive into relationships. And sometimes, as humans, we want things fast. I
Hmm.
get it. Whenever you're looking to get to a goal, whenever you're looking to get to a dream, you want to get there as fast as possible, but as fast as possible. You'd rather get there than not get there at all. And it all starts with the relationships, taking care of people, listening to them, listening to their wants and their desires, and having the tools in place to make sure that you can keep up with them, keep track with them, respect them. I know you're a part of Moversville as well, and they send out a newsletter. They're constantly nurturing those people because if you psychically knew whenever someone needed a move, then it wouldn't be so hard anymore. But we don't know. We don't know. So
Hmm.
it's about taking care of that relationship, nurturing that relationship, and making sure that you keep the relationship too. Because if
Hmm.
they, like, let's say you move someone, 6 months later, you haven't talked to them. They know someone who needs a mover. Now all of a sudden they're just picking whatever random mover they can. You're not top of mind anymore. But if you stay consistent with them, if you're constantly giving them some sort of value, something to say, oh yeah, Max moving. Oh, Arizona Reliables. I remember I read their newsletter and they're in my head. They're in my head. It's about getting in the head of the customer and staying in the head of the customer,
Yep.
staying in the head of the real estate agents too. They and look, I'm not telling anyone that this is easy because it's not. not even a little bit. When you're building those relationships, you want it to be like, ah, I have a service. My service is right here. Tell everybody about it. Like they're not gonna do that. They got to have a reason to do it, and that reason is, hey, I've actually taken the time to see you, to hear you, to support you.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was thinking too. It was like, oh yeah, go to this place, hand out your business card, do this, hand out flyers, blah blah blah. And for me, it's like you said, no one's gonna give you something for free.
Nope.
And unless they seen your company around and you made that 7 points of contact with that person in some way, shape, or form, they heard good stuff about you. They're not gonna refer you.
Yep.
And so it's kind of like I battle with myself where it's like, do I want to go out and make a not a genuine relationship? Do I want to go out and waste the time of saying, well, hey, here's my business cards here, I even give you 20, so if you can give it out to your clients, they could use our services? Or would I rather better you use make better use of that time by trying to figure out, hey, you know what, is there some people that I know that may know those people that I've
Yep.
had genuine relationships in the past that can make that introduction,
Yep.
and then basically kind of come at it from a different angle, where it's like,
Yep.
okay, well, hey, I'm in their forefront. They're thinking about me, making sure that my guys do good jobs, or adding that new person to my email list where I know that I'm going to be sending them value over time.
Yep.
So just come at it from a different way, because like I said, going to realtors offices, trying to bring them lunch and butter them up and all this other stuff, and they don't know you from a hole in the wall. Hey, they got Johns moving down the street doing the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's you you get to learn so much about your business and about the psychology of people, and just be like, because you want to be as strategic as possible when you're going through this game. You don't want to
mhm,
waste your time. It'd be like if you went to a personal trainer and the personal trainer just had you do a bunch of stuff and he didn't know why you were doing it or what you were doing or if you were actually going to get the result. You're just going to work really hard. That's frustrating. And so it's like, plan this out as strategically as possible. If you're going around to every real estate agent and talking to them one on one, oh my goodness, that's a nightmare. I
mhm.
don't have much hair. I shaved most of it off. But when I did have some, it was falling out. And
No, it
that's the
definitely
name of the
is.
game. Yeah, yeah, it's being as strategic as possible. I'm actually going through a strategy myself right now, which is focusing on connecting with title companies because
Mhm,
title companies are looking to support real estate agents too. The real
mhm.
estate agents, they in a lot of ways are the key to the kingdom. They're the ones who are literally taking one person from a house to another house, and they'd rather not look bad than possibly look good. So you want to make them look great because people love to look great. They just don't want to look bad. So
Mhm.
if your moving isn't up to par, they don't want to take a chance with, yeah, Joe and Bob's moving who has a 3.3 rating. Like, you got to be in your game. You got to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, because they want to look good, you want to look good, and you want to make the customer or the client look good.
Yeah, and they do say that realtors are the most overused people, because hey, it's not only moving that's control on that's out seeking the realtors. It's painters,
Yep.
construction workers, all of these different people that are always targeting realtors. So it's kind of like, don't build that fake relationship just because you think you're going to get the business, because there's five other competitors in your area that's looking for that same result.
Yeah.
So if you have any realtor friends, build that connection, take them out to lunch, see if there's some type of folders that you can get your name on with their company, that they're going to give you, like they could put your branding, your logo, a little brochure, like a little coupon of your company. And on that folder, it's going to go out to multiple clients as they close their home. Hey, okay, well, the realtor is going to prepare their folder for that client. And now, oh snap, your vendor name is on that folder. Or you could think outside the box and think, how the post office do things. So when you move to a new home or you change addresses, the post office always sends you something that got some vendors on it, like, hey, check out this home supplier, or check out this, or check out this. Well, what if you were on those? So
Yeah.
it's all different things to try to think out the box or so like that, but make sure that, hey, it all aligns. If you're going to be spending money, it all aligns with your marketing budget, because this is all essentially marketing.
Yeah. No, 100%. And when you were talking about not building a fake relationship, like it literally makes me think, if you were going to marry someone and you were marrying them because they had something you wanted, but you didn't actually care or love the person, that seems like it's just a lifeless marriage. And the same is true with real estate agents. Like you'd be like, I really just want this thing. I don't really care about the body that's in front of it helping me get the thing. Like, no, you might as well care about the whole thing, understand the whole process, and
Hmm.
understand the actions that you take in the process, because that's what you're doing. You're marrying people. In one way or another, you are marrying people, and they
Right.
are grading you all the time. We're all grading each other all the time. No one wants to hang around a bunch of F's. Like, everybody like, oh, he did me dirty. It's all good. It's all good. We're good now. You
Yeah.
got to bring your A game every single time.
So I don't know. Has it been how has it been for you guys over there? Has it been a little slower? Has it been a
Yeah,
little
so we've
busy?
had some up times and we have had some down moments. And it's interesting because your mind is playing on that roller coaster too. Because
Hmm.
it's thinking like, ah, crap, like it was supposed to be this, but it's not. You're attached to this outcome,
Hmm.
and it's really about figuring out, okay, being attached to the outcome doesn't help anything because it's just going to slow you down. Like you saying it should have been this, well, it's not. Like, so how do we change it? And one of those things is having a solid team, banding around your team together, and also knowing that you're the leader who is going to lead them into victory one way or
Hmm.
another. And so it's stepping back, looking at the bigger picture and say, okay, how do I create the reality that I want for myself and for my team? And just like you said, thinking outside the box, because this is some thinking outside the box time. Some of these movers are not going to make it. It's just the truth of the matter. It's tough. It's about leaning down right now, and it's about thinking in a different way. Your competitors are not your competitors. And that's what people most of the time think is, oh, well, if I could have got this move away from such and such and such and such. No, how are you going to be creative enough? Because there's enough business out there. It's just
Hmm.
it's just it's less business than before, but there's still enough business. And when you can say, all right, how do I get the moves that I'm looking to get? How do I make that a reality? That's why I like connecting with other moving companies, because a lot of you are smart guys. And it's just we come together, we brainstorm and figure out what are the best ways, what are the best options, what are the best next steps. And then you go out, you take the step, and you see what happens.
Right. No, and you ultimately, like I said, we're gonna everyone, we're gonna weather this storm. Like I said, whether you're busy or you're slow, we're gonna get through this season like we got through any other season. It's just maybe a little more difficult for other people, but
Mhm.
it's one of those things where we're gonna get through one day at a time, one week at a time, one month at a time. And we got to keep pushing, we got to keep getting back to the drawing board, keep getting out there. Before, let's just say, it became a lot easier post COVID, where, hey, everybody needs to move. Oh, movement is essential. Oh snap, we maybe in for us, we was hit 1 month out of the year of that year, and then it shot way up. Business people were getting evicted, people had to move, and stuff like that. So it became a lot more easier where we didn't have to hit the ground running.
Mhm.
Well, now it's like, well, that a lot more easier isn't necessarily there. It's now you got to hit the ground running. So it's just like, hey, putting on our training shoes again and just making sure that, hey, we know what we need to do to get where we need to get. We can't forget where we came from, and we just got to stay humble, stay disciplined. It's harder, sometimes it's harder said than done, but it's just one of those things where it's just like We got to get to it. If this is what we put our foot out to, is this what we put out to do? Remember our why. Why are we doing it all? And
Yeah.
hey, let's get it.
What's your why, Dwight?
Oh man, you just gonna throw Johnny on the spot, huh?
I'm just gonna throw it like that.
That's
Just giving you the hot
crazy.
potato.
Dang, we didn't even prepare for this question. That
We
is,
did not.
oh man. No, my why is always just to is just to break the generational curse. Break the generational curse, be able to leave something to my successors. I ain't got none of them yet, but I'm planning on having them. And
Very nice.
be able to just build something I can call mine and just say, hey, you know what? It's yours. Keep this in the family. Keep this going. Make sure that everyone that I encounter, that I build a relationship with, that I gave them the most value that I can give them, especially when it comes to this business or whatever the case is. So, I'm definitely, I can say one of the downsides and plus sides is I'm definitely a people pleaser.
Mhm.
But it's just one of those things where it's just like, hey, you know what? I just want to make sure that I build the most value relationships that I can before my time.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my why is get through this, build that generational wealth, and keep it going.
Respect. Yeah, I love that.
And what about you, good sir?
Yeah, like for me, I when I was done fighting, I wanted to influence 1 billion lives. And the reason I wanted to do that, it started with being so afraid of dying. Like it was a scary, scary thing because I saw my grandfather. I was 5 years old at the time, and it rocked me and scared the heck out of me. And I remember going through the process and saying, I need to live a life worth living. That I gotta
Mhm.
focus on doing that. And so my most important thing was to live a life worth living. Well, after getting through that process and really doing that, ultimately you want to give back to others. And so I want to give back and let people live the lives that they want to live, experience the things they want to experience. And it's cool because even though I've experienced a lot, there's always more to experience, right? There's always
Mhm.
more relationships to create. And so I just want to experience the greater things in life and help others do the same thing, experience the greater things in life, the greater goods in life. And just say like when a person has a good move, when a person it was so funny because I told one woman specifically, I'm like, I'm your trusted advisor. And she goes, well, what is that? And I go, if you have a problem, you come to me. And I figure out we come together and we figure out how to make a solution. And she took me up on it. Like she's asking me for everything. And I love every minute of it. And we've created a really nice bond because of it. She needed a painter, an AC guy. She needed to get transported from one area to another. And I'm just like, I get to come up with solutions with her. I get to come up with solutions because I'm not just a moving guy, and we all get contained in these little boxes. Like
Mhm.
even the owners get contained in these little boxes. Oh, well, you're the owner, so I don't need to tip you. Like, well, I'm still a human being. I
All
like
right.
eating out places. I like doing things. So I don't like being put in a box, and I don't like putting others in a box.
Mhm.
They're a human being with human experiences and emotions. They're not just some person like, okay, I'm gonna move you, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and it's out. It's like they have experiences they want to experience, things they want to do, and I just want to live my best life for them and live my best life for me as I go through the journey.
Yeah, makes sense. No, and that's the thing. Like, I know that you said, basically use the word I, get to come up with solutions or so like that. And my biggest thing is, I feel like I definitely want it to be a we thing,
Yeah.
because ultimately a lot of people would bring their problems and drown you with their problems like you don't have your own damn problems. Yeah, and
Like, you take these back. I'm still holding on to mine right now.
you know And the crazy part is, like I told you a few weeks back, where it's just like, I spent the maybe an hour or so like that on the phone with my pops or so, and he was telling me all of his problems and stuff like that. And by the time I got to my home, he's like, "Well, I hope your problems get better." Well, goddamn, I forgot I had those. Said I thought I done took on yours at this point. I'm trying to figure solutions out for you. But that it just ended up being the case that if you're gonna have a problem, let's talk it out. Let's because basically you need that. You need to express it because you don't know what the solution is yet. But as some
Yep.
people talk it out, they're like, oh snap, you know what? If I tried it this way, what do you think about that? Okay, well, let's run through your solutions now. Let's see
Yeah.
if any of them will be great. But for me to figure out a solution for your problem, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, shit. At the end of the day, after me figuring out all your problems, I realized that damn, I'm unanswered to mine.
Well, there's an exercise that I do my best to practice on a regular basis, and I call it a third, a third, and a third. And it's such a basic, simple thing, but it's such a powerful, profound thing too. When you really do it, and
Mhm,
it's you have a third of the people who already got what you want. You have a problem, they have the solution because they've already been through the problem. Then you have a third of the people looking to get to the solution that you want to get to. You know, having a thriving business where you don't even have to, you could be gone for 2 years and it would be just fine because you've put the processes and the systems in place, something of
mhm,
that nature. And then you have a third of the people who they want to get to where you're at, right? Like they want to just, hey, I just started, I only have one truck and I want to get to 3 trucks. And I got to talk to such and such over here because they have 5 trucks. So they've already gone through some of the problems that I've got that I will be facing because you
mhm,
will face certain problems as you go through the journey. You're going to go through the growing pains. And as you do that third, and a third, you get really, really good at finding solutions because you not only have to find solutions for yourself, you have to find solutions for others, and you have to get support with people giving you solutions as well. And so you're really training those muscles in order to get to where you want to get at a faster, more excelled rate.
mhm. Yeah, and I think our biggest enemy is ourselves. We hold
Oh yeah.
ourselves back because we get all the resources around us. Like if you're a moving owner, and you're in all these different groups or whatever the case is, people are posting value. No matter if you see it as value yet, it's
Hmm.
value. And
Yeah.
no, we can't respond or accept everything and build our company off of every piece of this. But we have to see is some of these people are already where we want to go. And
Yep.
we're just like, no, that ain't gonna work for me. No, I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm not gonna do that. That's just not me. Oh, I'm bored. No, that doesn't even entertain me. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, they're
and it's
saying,
just like
how does this apply to me? How does this apply to me? Open your mind up and really find the solutions. And then you still won't know until you take the action. I mean, that's the
Mhm.
truth of it, because you're gonna know what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Um, and figuring out like, okay, which action should I take next? What's the most
Right.
important action?
All right, so I think we got a message from Kristen. I don't know if she's still
Yeah.
in the room or not, but she said, so I recently had an out-of-state move. When I quoted it based on the pick and inventory list, I needed a 20-foot truck. When crews arrived, clearly needed a 26-foot truck. So many added things crazy. The client was then mad at me for not getting everything to fit. So I offered to get another truck and driver to accommodate. They didn't want to pay more. Of course not. So I suggested storage until I was back in the area in 2 weeks and I would pick up the rest. He didn't want to pay again. So he had my crew put it in his in-laws garage and held 1,000 from his payment and then hired a local crew to grab it. So annoying. She says, not sure what else I could have done to accommodate the client. And that's been an ongoing battle Kristen, if you're in the room. And the ongoing battle is customers won't be accurate. You know, we're now, again, if you're a member of the group, as a member of the group, we are affiliated with, well, I am affiliated with LiveSwitch. So the group does have a 10% discount with LiveSwitch Contact, which is a video estimator software. So if you need the link, just definitely post it in the comments. I'll get you the link or so like that. You can set up a demo and see how they actually work. But we've been actually incorporating them a lot more lately as well, because we know that customers aren't accurate with their inventory. But with long distance moving, you definitely want to get eyes on that project. You know, customers telling you, oh, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this. And then they forget all the items underneath the bed. They forget all the items that's in the garage. They forget the basement, attic, whatever. You know, the back shed that's not even a part of the house because they didn't feel like walking over there to see what was actually in the shed. You know, and it's just like you want to get eyes on long distance moving. And that's one of the things that, you know, even the regular FMCSA wants you to do as well with long distance moves. So don't take the customer's word because the customer, you know, isn't 100%. You know, they may be very close, 75, maybe 85. But if you can send them a video link, hey, can you just record a video of your home, walk in every room, take a small, slow scroll around your room. You know, because obviously some people don't know how to record and they're like, oh, I got this, I got this, I got this. And, you know, and you're like, God damn, hold on, how many times I got to pause this in that 5 seconds? You know, it's blurry and stuff like they the flash.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You
it's just
know,
like, go ahead.
and I look at every issue that we have is always a communications issue. Like
Mm-hmm.
every single time, right? And it's communicating like, hey, we want to give you the best move possible. So we need to know all the ins and outs so that we can bring the right resources to your home, especially in a long distance, and letting
Mm-hmm.
them know the consequences of not being as accurate as possible. And they're not going to be. You know, they don't move on a regular basis. We're the professionals on that side, and letting them know that we are the professionals. You know, if it's so funny, like if a person's getting a brain surgery performed and there's some extra pieces here and there that need to be performed and there's going to be some extra fees, I am almost sure people would be okay with paying those fees because their
Mm-hmm.
life is very important. But when it comes to the move, they don't think about all those other extra, like the fact that you would have to pay to bring the other truck. They're not thinking about that stuff. And it's about getting that into their mind so that they know, like, hey, I want to come as prepared as possible for you. It's actually for them so that it doesn't create this unnecessary headache. And what I will say is congratulations. And I say congratulations because you have a problem that you get the opportunity to find a solution for now. You know, like that's the
Exactly.
name of the game. We're
I
gonna
think
come up with we come up with problems all the time. And then
I
it's
think
like,
that's the biggest thing for me is like a lot of people, like I said, I admire a lot of those moving company owners that get the 5-star reviews and like, oh, I got a thousand reviews and they're all 5 stars, blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
I admire them. I inspire to get there
Mhm.
eventually.
Yeah.
And but my whole thing is those bad reviews give me clarity sometimes on what I
Yeah.
need to work out because I'm not perfect. And I know that. And
Yeah.
we're in a people business. So I know my guys aren't perfect either.
Yeah.
So what are they hiding? You know, are
Yeah.
they hiding damages where they're like, oh shit, we're not gonna tell the boss that we did this. Oh
Yeah.
no, you know, or or are they, I had a situation several years ago where the guy was like, well, if we can get this job done sooner, would you could probably put the difference that what you would have paid into our tip. How would you like that? And it's like, what
Yeah.
the hell?
Yeah.
Like, when was this created? And and
Yeah.
it's just like, that's that conversation you need to have where most people are like, well, that mofo was fired, but
Yeah. It's like and I I haven't seen 1,000 5 stars, but I will say this because I always ask myself the question, okay, how did they get to that? Right? Like, how did that happen? And there's something called market product, uh, a market product match. And when you're just matching with certain people, like if someone made a mistake with me, I'm a very open person. Like I understand mistakes happen. And I can actually respect a person for saying like, "Hey, you know what? I made a mistake. This is what I wanted to happen and this happened and this is why." I'm going to understand. Some people not so much. Some people they want it so perfect and they want to give you so little.
Mm-hmm.
When you're going with those, you can't win that game. It's impossible. It is an impossible win.
Mm-hmm.
And so depending on product that product market match, like it's figuring out like, okay, am I getting bad reviews because I'm really just effing up? Or am I getting bad reviews because I just have crappy clients that I'm working with? Because that's a possibility. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen that. The particular guy that we just had, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but we weren't expecting for our truck to break down the way that it broke down. And we're like, okay, well, we stopped the time and then we gave you money and you're still gonna like that doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, no,
But it is what it is. That's his reality.
yeah, no, and I remember Phil telling me several, maybe about a year ago or so, and Country Phil couldn't be here, everyone, but he's out there grinding in the summer
Doing
months.
his thing.
But I remember him telling me that he had a situation with the gas station. He brought all his trucks, went to the gas station that day, maybe like 3 or 4 of them went to the gas station. They filled up at this one station, and pretty much they got water in the tank instead of fuel because the pump was dishing out water instead of fuel. So some of the trucks made it maybe about 70 miles, 75
Yeah.
miles before they broke down. And
Yeah.
the one truck that went to this one customer house that he was very specific about, the truck literally broke down as soon as it hit the customer's driveway. So so at that point, he was like, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have our mobile mechanic come by, and while he's trying to fix it or so like that, the guy's gonna continue to load.
Mhm.
So the guys loaded, they never stopped, they continue to work. And um the customer at the end of it was like, "Oh, can I get a discount for the inconvenience?" And and it's like, uh, sir, what do you want a discount for? Did they stop working? Did they ever stop working? Like, I think they went consistent.
Yeah.
And then, it's, so it's just like the unrealistic stuff where it's just like, okay, where did it inconvenience you? Like, it didn't stop the time. It didn't, do anything, whatever the
Yeah.
case is. They had the truck towed off the customer's lot because it wouldn't start.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and it had the stuff in it. So it was like, hey, the job was done. And then, you tell the customers, oh, well, hey, I went to a gas station this morning to try to get some fuel so we can make it to your house. And unfortunately, their gas station delivered water. And the customer's
Yeah.
like, well, unfortunately, that's not really our problem. You're like, when do we not become humans?
So I'm gonna throw my wife under the bus. I love my wife with everything. Um, I call it employee minded, right? My wife is employee minded, and it's not her fault. No one's at fault for doing what they do. My wife is one of the hardest customers to please. Like she can be one of the hardest customers to please
Mm,
because she doesn't see on the other side of the field. Like if you're not used to seeing on the other side of the field, it's like, oh, I'm inconvenienced. All of us are. Like it's not
yeah.
just you're not the only one that's inconvenienced. Everybody got inconvenienced through this situation that happened. And so we get the choice of how we're going to show up. Like do we give them everything for the inconvenience? It's not my place to say. You get to run your ship the way you want to run your ship. Um but they're not going to see our side sometimes. They're just not going to see
Hmm.
our side. And even with my wife, like going through the business journey and working with business owners, You know, you just see things differently in another way and another light. Like all these other pieces that matter. There's all these moving pieces that matter. And a person who's not looking, used to looking under the hood of things, they can't know that. And they won't know that. And they're
Hmm.
not even going to choose to try and find out. Like, so it's figuring out. This is why I say that psychology is so important
Yep.
as you're dealing with people, because that's what you're dealing with is emotions and a lot of
And yeah, you can apply that to business too. Like obviously, so sometimes the guys might see your dispatcher or you, if you're not a person that go in the field, as, oh man, these people are always just sitting in the office. They're not really ever doing anything, and we're out here breaking our
them.
back. And you can maybe one week just say, well, hey, your top guy, you know what? I want to empower this person, but play a psychological game. Hey, I want to empower him. I want you to, sit in the dispatch role for a week, answer some phones, dispatch the guys, and once they do that, and they're like, oh, yo, I'm gonna get paid extra this week. I'm gonna be a dispatcher, blah blah blah. And then they like, yo, these guys don't never listen. Like, why? Like, what the hell? Like, yo, I get what y'all going through now.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. There's a saying, if you put all of your problems, everybody's problems in a circle, you'd probably pick your problems back up.
Oh yeah, start digging through it. Yeah, that was me. And yep, that's me too.
Yeah,
But
it's such a journey. It's such a journey
it
going
definitely
through it.
is. Let me see. Anybody else? Let's see if anybody else got some questions. Let's see. Let's see. So yeah. So no. So that's the thing right there. It's just like I said, just making sure you guys are organized. This is one of those things in this show, the reason why we came out with this show, and we're gonna look to have more and more guests every week. So if you are a member that's constantly watching our live, and you have some juicy stuff you want to go over, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to have you on the show or so like that, and go from there. But basically, it's either in this industry, it's either you laugh or you cry, and basically, I'd rather do a lot more laughing, because at the end of the day, we know what we got to do. It's just a matter of how much more work we got to put in, who we got to get connected with, nurture those relationships. I was a big person where I never like to do housing moves. If for some of you, if you don't know what housing is those big old projects, 14th floor buildings that you don't even want to go into, because that elevators be pissy sometimes. And you just don't want to deal with certain clientele. Some people don't want to deal with apartment moving in general. They rather just focus on house moves. But we also got to realize that in a time of uncertainty, that some of the things that we don't want to do, we may have to sacrifice and do. Not all, but some. Because it's like, well, damn, I ain't about to do that. Oh, hell no, I don't care how bad I get. But
How's the weather out there during the summertime, by the way?
the weather, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to bring it up, but we affected by that Canada smoke.
Okay.
I ain't see a sunlight, sunlit, sun, nothing in a couple of days. It is
Holy
impressive.
crap.
It's summer
Oh.
it's talking about it's going to be a high of 62. The hell? I thought I just came from the winter. Man,
Holy crap.
I'm gonna be like, oh, I know you miss Florida. How you know?
It's hot as hell over here. We're in Arizona and it's nearing 3. We're almost at 100 degrees. In fact, yeah, it's
Man,
warming
ain't
up
nobody
quite a
want to
bit.
hear all of that. 100
It's war
degree nothing.
it's warming up quite a bit.
Talking about almost 100 degrees.
Hey, it's gonna get really hot here soon enough. Let me see. Let me see.
Oh, now he want to check his weather. Ain't this some stuff? I don't want to check my weather because I know I
It's
could put
actually It is perfect right now, though. I'm not gonna lie.
You know,
It's like
I'm gonna
70
be the
degrees right now,
meteorologist
but
too. Yeah, yeah, the meteorologist for New Yorkers is, oh, it's cold.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of the cold myself. Like, I'm not a big fan. But so, all right. So here's my question to you. In Florida, it gets humid as heck, though. You're cool with that? You don't have a problem with that?
I never had a problem with it because it's like, hey, we live 5 minutes from the beach. The beach day
Ah,
every
yeah,
day.
okay. That makes the problem go away real quick. Now I get that.
But you know, I am one of the things I am glad about New York is that the cost of living is just so much better. You know,
Is it?
obviously I thought Florida, you know, nothing could I thought nothing could compare to like New York City. Because New
Hmm.
York City is his own region. The sad part about it.
Yeah.
And everybody just think when you think New York, you think New York City. Most people think, oh yeah, I'm going to New York. Oh, where you going to
Mhm.
New York? Oh, I'm going to Manhattan. Oh, I'm going to here. I'm going here. And it's just like, you're not going to the little suburban cities around New York? No, New York ain't just New York City, but you know, but that's what people think is like when they think New York, they think New York City. And New York City, the crazy part about New York City is that they made it its own city bubble.
Mm,
So the people that live in New York City have to pay city taxes, have to
mm.
pay state taxes, and then have to pay federal taxes.
Wow. That doesn't sound
And
so fun.
yeah, so their check is talk about their check being garnished. Their check is
Yeah.
gone. And then if you got child support on top of that, bye bye. You better live with someone else, live in a cardboard box because you can't even get a studio.
Oh man.
You know,
Oh wow.
studios is running like $1,500 or more.
Well, I definitely wouldn't be picking those problems up. So I know, like, if all the problems I've been like moving them out of the side, like, get those problems away from me. Let me.
You know, I was staying in Florida, a little city in Florida, and you know, they had a power company out there, and the power company was like, "Oh yeah, well, we're going to build our plant, our own utility plant, or whatever the case is. But in order for us to build that, which is going to take 2 years, we're going to run the extra charge through everyone in the city." Oh well, that's fucking great. I didn't ask you to build that. I didn't vote on it, but you know, they're going to do what they're going to do. So now your utility bill that should be probably like $100, $200, depending on you know your usage. Now like $400 or $500 every month,
Oof.
and you're like, how is this sustainable?
Yeah.
Like how is people supposed to survive off of this? No type of grants, no nothing. Health, you got to pay for health insurance and everything, and it's just like, geez,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and the money ain't increasing. Everything around you is still Florida is the South, so the South is still behind.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, New York finally managed to get up to $15 minimum wage an hour, and you're like, well, goddamn, 15 minimum wage? Remember when it was like
Yeah.
7.95? How they
Yeah.
gonna start the border right there? So now you know you got to pay guys like 20, 25, even $30 an hour to say, oh, at least you're not minimum wage.
Yeah. No,
And
it's and
then you got customers
another
that want to
thing,
pay
like,
minimum wage prices.
y- yeah, customers be conditioned. It's funny because it's easier to condition a person to stay in the lower end than go up. Like, it's just like poor businesses, right? Like the businesses we have to deal with that headache sometimes. But what's
Mhm.
interesting, like one thing that I'm seeing is leaning up as a business, especially right now in these times, is running a business as lean as possible because insurance is going up. People are looking to stay in the lower end of making payments. Gas prices are going up, trucks are going up, like everything's going up, and it's figuring out like, okay, how do I creatively communicate this? Like, how do I communicate this to my people, to myself, even, and to the customers? Because communicating to yourself, one thing people forget is you're a human going through experiences too, and you want everyone to win. You wouldn't get into business and you would, well, some people get into business for whatever reasons they want, but you stay in the business because you want to see people win. That's the
Mhm.
only way, because a true business makes sure everybody wins. And so you got to think of all of the pieces. You're looking at all of the moving parts and figuring out, how do I make this work for me, for my team, for the people that I serve? and problems are coming and they're going, and now it's about like leaning up as much as possible. I'll ask you the question: what do you do to lean your business up when headaches really start coming your way?
Gee, take an ibuprofen.
Shot of vodka, just like
But
worst way to
no,
do it. Don't bite him.
no, it's just one of those things where you got you. I like to feel that there's people for every situation. We're not. Some of us are new to the business, but if you've been in the business for a while, it's one of those things where, hey, if there's a claim, there's a process. If there's a whining mover, there's a process. Sadly, but there's a
Yeah.
process. Um, and maybe we might not write down that one, because the way they cry is they cry differently. They cry ugly times. Um, and you just can't get a grasp on how they crying today. But you know, but there's a process. There's a process to everything, and there's just certain things that we shouldn't, and we will not accept in our business. And my biggest thing is, if there's always a worker complaining, yes, you could ultimately fire them, because a bad apple can spoil the bunch. But you have to realize, what are they always complaining about? What are they always crying about? Because you get rid of one bad apple, and believe it or not, he done already spoiled that bunch in some way, shape, or form.
Mm,
And now the next person who's going to be crying and complaining is even worse than this person.
yeah.
And now you just kind of have to pick your battle and think like, oh man, I fired this guy who kept complaining about not driving to work because he wasn't getting paid to drive to work. What the hell, you don't get paid to drive to work anywhere else? But I fired him because he just kept complaining about that. Now I got another guy who's complaining about, well, we ain't getting paid for driving back from the job, or whatever the case is, in
Mm,
our truck.
yeah.
You know. So it's just like, "Ah, damn it. Now the other guys started feeling, yeah, he's right. We sure aren't getting paid. Well, what you gonna do anyways? Your car's at the shop. You gotta come
Yeah.
back and get it.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where pick your battles. And there's always gonna just be a headache, and you just gotta figure out how to mitigate those headaches. And I'm an open door owner, where it's like, hey guys, if you got an issue, whether it's home life, or if it's business related, come talk to me. But don't just bring a problem, bring a solution with you, and maybe we can get through it together. But if I think of the solution for you, it may not be that buy-in that I need from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, let's come up with a solution together. Oh, well, we got this guy on our team. He don't want to lift nothing. He's so weak. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Okay, okay. And this been going on for quite some time now, you're saying? Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. It's been going on for like 2 jobs now. Damn. How long he been here? Oh, he's been here for 3 months. Oh, so this is a recent.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had a conversation with him though? Well, I didn't know how to approach him, or whatever the case is. Okay, okay. Now we could kind of dig a little deeper. Okay, so you haven't had a conversation with him, and if we have a conversation with him directly, it's going to feel like somebody's going behind his back and cause him, and now that's going to cause more problems, because he's going to say, "Why didn't they come talk to me first?"
Yep. Yeah.
So, is this something where you want to have um a conversation with him in my office, where I'll be the intermediary person, and I'll just kind of be that middle person, so that basically we can make sure that the temperature stays right in the room?
Hmm.
Or is this a conversation you want to have with him separately, man to man, or man to woman, woman to man, whatever, however you want to do it? And they're like, you know what? I don't want. I'd rather not have that middle person in here, because I just feel like like unconfident about the situation. So let me talk to him first. Let me see if we can get it addressed, and then if it proceeds, maybe we can have that kind of
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Let's go from there. And
Yeah.
that's what most owners, I like to say, a lot of owners don't necessarily spend the time on, is having that actual conversation versus just focused on self. They're
Mm.
more focused on, hey, we got to get these jobs done. I can't deal with this crying. We just got to go. And it's just like, no, we're humans at the end of the day. Let's slow it down, because if we can get these people on the right page and the right temperature, they could be a lot more efficient to us in the long run than in the short run.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing culture and communication through that, getting the communication right and having the right culture, because in any culture, like as it grows, potentialities for dangers increase, but the smaller and the leaner it is, the more you have to be in your game. Because if you have one bad apple out of 25, it can get bad really, really fast. And you got to chop them out. You got to get them out as quickly as possible, because they'll bring the whole team down. And that's not fun to try and get back up.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's that analogy of a bad apple. It's like, okay, well, hey, once a bad apple is a bad apple, you can't turn that shit around. And you can't like, oh, let me shine this up and make it look good. No, it's bad.
Yeah.
So I hate that analogy, but I feel like there's a deeper root to the issue.
Yeah.
And can it be resolved, or is this something that's just so rotten that no matter what I do to it, I just can't fix it?
Yeah. I look at, like, my weird analogy, I say we're all diamonds, and
Mm-hmm.
we we have shit on us, right? And some people have way more shit than others. Um, and some people are rolling in so much shit, like they almost look like they're more shit than diamond. Like it's just like, but the diamond's always in there. And that's how I think. Like I think everyone has a diamond. Everyone is a diamond. Everyone's unique. But if they have a bunch of shit and they're getting it all over the team and everybody else,
Now the whole
they
team
gotta
gonna
go.
stink.
Yeah,
I
yeah, they
smelt
gotta
it.
go. Like, hey, go polish yourself. Go go to a car wash. Go to something. But you can't stay here.
Just throw them away and everything. It's not salvageable.
Yeah.
Oh man,
So
that
know
brings me
know
back.
your
Like I
culture and
said,
know what you stand for.
brings me back to those hard work stories that I was telling you guys several weeks ago, where we're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, when the guys go to work and they're just musty and they just smell like hard work before they start work, and you're like, God damn, I know you smelled this while you was on the bus all the way here. Like now we gotta smell it in the truck.
That'd be terrible. 1-star review. These guys stank.
And you know it's bad if the customer come up to you like, hey, you're the lead. So I didn't want to say nothing, but like there's one of your guys is just really reeking, and you're just like, you know what? We got this thing they call a train on our on a job. And basically one person brings it from the house to the elevator, and the elevator to the truck, and the one guy brings it from the bottom of the elevator to the truck. You know what?
Yeah.
He's gonna be on the opposite, the last cart on the train. He is not coming back up here no more.
There's always a solution. We just gotta find them.
And then the crazy part is that mofo be wanting to sit in the middle in the truck. And you're like, God damn, I don't know if I want you to sit by a window or the window, because either way, and you almost gotta take a break. Like, you know what, ma'am, we gotta take this break because we gotta go to CVS. We gotta get this guy something. Like,
Oh, the horror stories of the movie world.
but it's like, hey, we get through it, and like I said, life makes it easier, especially if you guys have people in teams. I know that we're at the top of the hour, so I'll just wrap this up here. But it's like, if you
Yeah.
guys have people in teams, you can make sure that those team members are people that can work together. Like they can laugh, they can joke, they can get the job done and get those reviews for you. Because basically, some people still like to do a pool where it's like, well, hey, we got 7 guys or 8 guys, everybody's working together whenever we need them to work together, whatever the case is. And if you're on a smaller scale, okay, great. But once you start getting like 20 or more guys, it's like, yo, maybe we need to do teams, because all this mixed blend do not work. And you know that, hey, if I put these 4 guys or 3 guys out here all the time, rest assured 6 to 7%, 7 out of 10 times, they're going to get me a 5-star review. That's what you need to do. Now you need to find, how can I get this people are giving me 7 out of 10, they're giving me 5 stars. How can I get this group to do the same? How can I get this group to do the same? And and it makes life so much easier, because if they depend on each other, they're going to want to come into work together. They're going to want to stop calling out, because they're like, oh, yo, we can work together. I want to work with John. John gets it in. John gets this money. We get these tips. Okay. Now that headache that you was having internally, where you're like, well, damn, these guys don't want to show up, or no call, no shows, or this and this and this. This can really, really elevate that, where it becomes less and less. I don't see any more questions, anyone, but hold on. So Oscar said, how do you reward your guys? We give a $50 bonus per guy for a 5-star review on Google. No, that's really great. So for us, we kind of do safety bonuses. We do 5-star reviews as well, but we do safety bonuses, and safety bonuses for us kind of works in a sense that, hey, you don't get any liabilities or any damages or whatever the case is. Every week we'll take about maybe 3 to 5% of the total revenue that we made last week. And basically we'll put it into a pot for just handling claims. And we'll let that build up for the 52 weeks, almost the 52 weeks, because we'll pay it out in like December. And then we'll say, well, hey, at the end of the year, hey, you guys, we got $12,000, $14,000 in unpaid claims because you guys did such a great job. We're going to give you back about, we're going to give you back about 7 to 8 grand split amongst everyone. And they're like, oh, wow. So I'm getting about 1,000, or I'm getting about, $800. Now, remind you, that 14,000 went down, because the 14,000, we did have to pay our claims. Obviously, we're not a perfect business. So that 14,000 could have been 20,000 initially. So now we say, hey, you know what? Who caused that 20,000 to drop to 14,000? And those people are penalized at a small percentage. So instead of them getting like $900 equal across the board to everyone, well, hey, these people caused about 30% of the claims. So now they're going to lose 30% of that 900. So let's say now they're at $700 or a little less than $700, while everybody else may get that 900. And now they start to realize that, hey, maybe I shouldn't be fucking up. I got to do better. And that's kind of like a way that we found to be a good system, where, hey, we don't need all this extra excess money. Let's give it back to our employees. But the employees that made some damages, they had to just take the extra hit.
Yeah. I like the safety bonus. I also like the I'd love to have you on, the person Oscar, who's doing $50 5-star review bonuses. That's an interesting idea. So
okay. So like I said, everybody, so we are at the top of the hour. If you are, an interesting person and you want to be on this morning show and get crazy, definitely, reach out to us. We don't mind having, guests or so like that come on the show. And hey, let's have a good time. Let's be respectful at the end of the day. And, let's build value, because this is what running a profitable moving group is all about, is building training value. We got a lot of labor groups out there that's always looking for work. We got all these other groups out here that's posting stuff about their trucks and all this other stuff. But this is the one community where we can talk training. We can have these conversations with great guys like Clifford and Phil and Werner. We had last week. We had Jay Burnham on the show. And it's just, we can build value on how we can elevate to the next level. And that's specifically what this group is getting to that next level and making sure that we stay in compliance with where we are as well. Cliff, did you want to say something before we close out?
Yeah, keep it moving. I know this summer some people are doing well, some people not so well. Just step back, look at the bigger picture, and keep taking the actions that you need to make your business show up in the best way that it can and build those relationships.
Definitely. All right. So I just put my link to my website in the group chat on this live or so like that. And pretty much, like I said, the website is going to have tremendous resources, you know, learning tools to resources for if you need fuel card companies that you want to work with, if you need video software for your company, if you need a sales team to outsource your sales to, all of these links are there. You know, we're adding as we go. So if you know anybody that you find to be a great vendor that would benefit people, you know, definitely let me know. I'll check them out, do some due diligence. You know, I know there are some background check companies in the group as well that you could background check your movers, your drivers, whoever you bring on board. So, you know, we have a group of amazing people in this group here. It's just all about what you put into it is what you get out of it. All right, everybody. So enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, keep pushing every day. Because again, a lot of us aren't thriving in this season that we thought would be summer. So keep thriving, keep pushing. It's not over. Don't lose hope. Just keep pushing. All right, everybody.
Crush it,
Take
everyone.
care.
Take care.
All right.